Hey, Burkie.
Hey, Burkie.
Hey, Burkie.
Future stars of the NHL are putting on their Adidas Addy-Zero authentic NHL jerseys for the first time ever.
Hey, Burkie. Remember what happened the last time the draft was in Boston?
How could I forget that one?
Take us back to 99, Burkie. 1999 NHL Draft.
The 1999 first round is the worst first round in the history of the National Hockey League. Early in the year, Thomas Gradin, who was their Swedish scout, he said, you got to get these two brothers. They play together. They're identical twins. And so everyone talked about the Sedins and the twins. And I went to watch them at the World Juniors, which were in Winnipeg that year. And they weren't very good against Canada. They got a lot of points against, Bulgaria and Antarctica and some of the other teams that were in the tournament, but not against the good teams. So I told our scouts I'm trading the pick. So at the end of the year, I get a fax at 6 o'clock in the morning. Team Sweden announces their team for the World Championships. The twins are on the team.
Oh.
Well, they don't take 18-year-olds to that tournament. You know that, even to this day.
Yep.
But in general, it's men. So Thomas Gradin called me and he said, "You see who made the team?" I said, "Yeah, who got hurt?" He said, "No one got hurt. They made the team on their own merit." So I said, "Okay, I'm going to come over and watch them play, and then we're going to drop this nonsense. I'm trading the pick." So we had the third pick overall. So there's two pools in the World Championship. One's in Hamar and one's in Oslo. The twins are playing in Hamar, the 2-hour drive. So I carpool up with Chicago, who have the fourth pick in the draft. So they're seeing the same thing I saw. Trent Yanni, Dale Talon, Bob Murray, and me in a Mercedes, like a SUV. It's the most beautiful drive in the world. You're driving along a cliffside on a fjord up to Hamar. Just stunning, breathtaking.
Nice.
Well, first shift you see it with this twin thing that they do. And I don't know what else to call it, but they're passing pucks to areas where no one's anywhere near the puck, and one of them skates right onto it. And I was like, good Lord, now I get it. Now I see why Thomas Gradin said we have to get these guys. The problem is the Chicago Blackhawks saw the same thing I did, and they're all good talent evaluators, those three guys. So we're driving back, and they're saying, boy, those twins are pretty good. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sold on them. And so we come back, and on Father's Day, I'll never forget. And when I was with the kids, I never had the phone on. But I said, I got a big deal going here today. So I step outside. It's Bob Murray. I make the deal. Brian McCabe and a first for the pick. And he tried to get my pick first. He said, would you trade me 3? I said, no, but you're going to trade me 4. And he said, it's going to cost you a fortune. So Brian McCabe, I hated trading him. He was in his prime then. A great kid, great player. So now I got 3 and 4. So the night before the draft, I finally told Rick Dudley, who had number 1, that we had 3 and 4. Because up till then, I'd kept it a secret. We'd made the deal 5 or 6 days earlier, but we just registered it with the league that day. And then Dudley started swearing at me, and he asked for a second and a fourth. I said, I'll give you 2/3. I'm not giving you a second. And we didn't make the deal. I went to bed not having the deal. And I thought, I'm getting fired for sure. I just traded Brian McCabe and a first for Pavel Brendel, who was the next pick in the draft.
Yep.
So I get to the draft early. Dave Nonis and I are always the first ones at the draft. We're there 3 hours before. No one's on the floor but us. So Dudley comes over, we make the deal. So Jay Feaster was the assistant GM, and Dave Nonis go back and meet with the league. They're doing the trade call. So I stroll over to Atlanta's table. I said to Donnie Waddell, do you want to be the star of the draft? Donnie said, well, I've seen you running around. I have a pretty good idea who's going to be the star of this draft. I said, do you want to pick first? Ted Turner was there. Ted Turner was at the draft. It was their first draft. No expansion team had ever picked first overall. So he said, what do I have to pay to pick first overall? I said, I've been spending draft picks like a drunken sailor. I need a third back. So we did the deal.
Vancouver Canucks are very proud to select for Marshall Spink, Team Moto of the Swedish Elite League, Daniel and Henrik Sedin.
Patrick Stefan went first. He was picked first. The Twins went second and third. I went up there. I didn't know which one was which. I just held out 2 sweaters, and they grabbed one. I hope the right one. That's why they wear 22 and 33. They wanted to wear high numbers. I said, no, take 22 and 33. But if people who say you're so smart, I was a sheer genius how you pulled it off. I drafted them in the wrong sequence. Hank was a better player than Danny, and we took Danny first.
What was your first conversation like with them?
Well, we interviewed them at the draft, but the scouts interviewed them, and I talked to them briefly there. But the main thing was the night before the draft. It's a hot June night in Boston, and my ex-wife and I went for a walk, and we're walking up by Back Bay, and we bumped into the Twins not once but twice.
Hey, Burkie.
And my wife said, "It's an omen. You're going to get those kids tomorrow." And I'm like, "I hope so." But they're so polite, and it's just maddening to talk to them.
Why is that?
I told Danny once, I said, my worst nightmare would be to go fishing with you. because you ask them a question and they don't answer right away. They have a polite pause while they ponder an appropriate answer, and then they give you a one-word answer anyway. So it's like I say, Danny, how's it going?
Okay.
How are your parents?
All right.
I'm running out of questions here, kids.
Great.